In this video, we will talk about what's the approach that you can take to map all your capabilities. So now we want to talk about how to create a capability map. And there are different ways of doing this. The first approach I'm going to talk about is defining a capability map based on or by your objectives. To look at each objective that you have defined and ask yourself the question, well, what are the capabilities I would need in order to meet those objectives? So in this example here, we've got an objective called establish a product innovation and market testing center by the end of year one. We've got innovation management and product market testing are two capabilities we believe is required in order to meet this objective. So that's really a good technique for doing that. Nothing wrong with this technique, but what you could end up is that because you're so focused specifically on the capabilities that will help to meet that objective, you may not have identified other potential capabilities. You may discover that actually that capability that you didn't call out previously may have been an important capability for meeting your objectives. Capability mapping is about creating a holistic overview of all the building blocks that you need to consider when determining what needs to change in order to meet your objectives. And the more that you can identify as potential capabilities that need to change, the more of a coverage map that you have to be sure that you've actually considered all the different capabilities that are required to meet your objectives. So let's look at another way of defining your capability map, and that's by value chain. So in this example here, we've got on the top this example of a value chain that goes from marketing to inquiries. So you go out to market and advertise, or you promote a particular product. That leads to inquiries, and inquiries converts to sales orders, and sales orders then finally to fulfillment. So this is a very simple example of a value chain on the top. And you're really then asking yourself the question, if this is the value chain that is the full aspect of the scope of the area of concern for what we're considering, then what are all the capabilities that we need to define that actually plays a role in that particular part of the value chain? So what are all the capabilities that play a role in the marketing step of the value chain or the inquiries step of the value chain? Another thing that you see on the left-hand side here is that we've called out here what are the core capabilities and what are the enabling capabilities. The core capabilities are essentially the fundamental, the primary capabilities that are required to the marketing step of the value chain, and the enabling capabilities are the capabilities that support all the core capabilities to enable those core capabilities to deliver to that step within the value chain. So using this as a form of framework, if you like, it's a good approach to help you to define all the capabilities that are required in order to then help you to then ask the question, which one of these capabilities then are the ones that will actually help to meet my objectives, which then addresses the challenges.